disgusting looking, and their mouth is even able to extend out of their body like an alien. But at the end of this part that expands are their venomous fangs, which they use to latch onto stuff like shrimp in the ocean, which I'll be showing off very soon. Now, one thing though, I actually bought 12 of these bloodworms that I'm gonna have to keep all in the same aquarium. So yeah, this is gonna be a nightmare. Now for the build, I'm gonna put in some aqua soil and a dirt mix. Eventually, we're gonna completely fill it with water because that's how bloodworms live in the wild. But for now, I just put a tiny bit of water in to keep the dirt nice and moist.
But I've already run into the first problem because I don't think I was supposed to add more water straight to the dirt, and it kind of made it a weird consistency. And the water is just straight up black.
So yeah, I drained the water, scooped out the dirt, and I washed off the sink. Then I put the soil back in, covered it in a thin layer of sand, and added the water back. As you can see now, the water stays fantastically clear. Nice. This mound here in the middle will be where I go all the decorations, and I'll even be putting in some red plants, and then finally filling it all up with water. First of all, let's get some pieces of wood in here. I thought this design of multiple of these burnt looking ones coming from the middle looked pretty nice. I didn't want them
And sardine, which you basically just open by pulling the, okay, it broke off. Okay, time two. Basically, you just open it like this, and inside there's some like dead fish that you eat.
Now with the sardines, I actually went and put one of them under this petrified wood. I'm doing this because I want to test to see if the bloodworms have a smell ability and whether they'll be able to find the sardine under it, dig it out, and eat it. Yeah, that should be pretty fun to watch. Anyways, now I want to get some red aquatic plants in here. So I drove to Petco so I could buy some.
Alright, I'm at Petco. I'm hoping they got some red plants and stuff.
I scattered along the floor of the enclosure, added a bit more resin here to match that bloodworm color, of course. But as you could probably tell, I've been keeping the two sides of this enclosure completely empty. And that's because I want to build some custom DIY builds on both sides that the 12 bloodworms will be able to interact with. First of all, on the right side, I'm going to make a little cave they can all hide in. Now, in an old video, I learned this cool trick where you get out a basket, cut a hole in the front, and cover it in rocks to make your very own cave. So I'm going to do it again, but this time with 3 different baskets to make a triple-decker cave. So I went and cut the front of the baskets off to be the entrance. I sanded them down a bit so it wasn't...
दूसरा लगा ले कोई
But checking and changing pads, no way. Thank God for this Papiria panties. They last so long. Literally, no little panties. Not a pants. Miss Papiria panties. Get it now.
क्योंकि ये नया दिन है जो साधारण बार से गले का चले जाना नया दिन गले का चले जाना
bloodworms, that way I'll be able to see which they like the most once I get them inside. So anyways, I drove to Walmart to do some